Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum. Tom Reimer and I are back with another episode of Found Footage Fridays. And today we're talking about, what are we talking about today, Tom?
We are talking about the Blackwell Ghost.
That's right.
Which is a film that sort of took me a while to get to.
Yeah.
I'd seen it on a couple of lists of found footage movies that I should watch. And I saw it pop up on different streaming services here and there. But when I did a little bit of just initial, looking into it back then, I don't know, a few months ago when I watched it, it looked to me to just be some sort of, a ghost hunter sort of documentary.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even sure that it was like, what it was supposed to be. Is this a documentary? Is this a work of fiction? Which is exactly what they wanted you to think. And I did a little bit of research into this. It was really presented as a real life documentary.
Yeah.
An authentic documentary that shows actual ghost footage that was captured on camera.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, there's a lot of debate still around this movie. I was looking into that. There's a whole host of people who think that it is real, and there are a whole host of people that are trying to debunk that and prove those people wrong. I think the debunkers are correct. But if that's the kind of movie you're looking for, that's what this is all about. This is
yeah.
Well, I don't want to say too much, but that's the idea behind this movie.
Yeah. Well, and I think I even had to confirm I had the right one because I thought it was a documentary series.
Yes.
When I found it, I was like, "Is this the right one?"
Mm-hmm. I mean, even like the cover or image for the
everything
image for the movie, it doesn't like. It's just like a picture of like an old photograph,
old lady.
Yeah, it's strange. And now I think there's a series of movies.
There's a bunch of them. Yeah.
And what's confusing when you look into this is that the person in the movie, and I want to get his name right, Turner Clay, is a real person. He's a producer. He's a director. He actually, and this sort of takes away with all the mystique, but he directed another found footage movie that we haven't talked about yet, called the Phoenix Tapes or something like that. I wrote it down.
The Phoenix.
The Phoenix Tapes. Yeah, the Phoenix Tape. Phoenix Tapes 97. Yeah, it's I think it's a Roswell or alien thing, which you probably would like.
I probably would like it. Oh, I'll have to look that. I'll have to find that then.
Clearly, he survived one other found footage movie, so spoiler alert. But there are a lot of people, as I said, who argue about this movie. There are Facebook groups, sort of like a cult following.
What?
Yeah. Which is why
I have never even heard of this.
I know. And it's it's good. I know we have to do our ratings, but I do enjoy this. I enjoy that feel of a movie that might sort of be real.
Yeah. So when did this come out? This came out in
not super long ago.
2017.
Yeah.
It came out in 2017. It has a 6 out of 10 on IMDb and a 95% on Google. Just a short synopsis. It says a filmmaker tries to prove that ghosts are real, but soon regrets his intentions after he finds himself being terrorized in a haunted house by a ghost with a dark past. An authentic documentary that shows actual ghost footage captured on camera.
Yeah. But like people in this movie don't feel like actors.
I agree.
Right? I mean, it doesn't feel.
That's a strength for sure. Yeah.
Yep. And I don't want to say any more without spoiling, but
yeah.
I finally convinced myself to watch it because I wasn't really in the mood for like just like a paranormal investigator type show, if that's what it was, which is what I thought it was.
Right.
First. And the guy, he does present himself as a documentary or a filmmaker who's sort of, at the end of his rope. He's struck out with a bunch of different projects, right? And and this is his chance at finally hitting it big.
Yeah, and he comes across as a not really like a believer.
Right. Yeah, he's the Dana Scully of
That's
this
right, of the
this
situation.
movie.
And yeah, and
Different.
I am going to comment on the first video clip that we see in the movie when we get to spoilers. It kind of surprised me. I think the whole setup just kind of really surprised me. So
Yes.
yeah.
Me too.
So what's your tapes?
So I'm gonna give it 7 tapes out of 10.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a 6
Okay.
out of 10.
Flip flop. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like it's very good. I think I would rewatch it. I think I would tell other people to watch it, but it was no like, Gonjiam or like any of those others that we put like on this pedestal, right? Like, and to your point, and I know you had said this when we discussed it originally, was this concept has already been done. So it's hard to like reel me back into those things. And it took a little while into the movie for me to feel like it was authentic, but I did get there. It took a little bit. I wasn't there at the very beginning. It took me a little while. So
and at the very beginning, here you are trying to believe that these are 2 real people. And
yeah,
the first thing that they do, or one of the first things they do, is hop in their plane and fly to the house. I mean, that was something this is a struggling filmmaker, and he has his own plane. I don't know. I know I'm going to get hung up on the plane, but that was one of those things that I had a problem with at the beginning. Probably took a whole tape off of my rating scale just for that plane.
it makes a disconnect, though.
But
I mean, I can understand
sure.
that. Yeah.
But the strength of this movie was how real it felt. It felt authentic. The people felt authentic. He feels authentic. The filming of the movie, there are no special effects at all.
None.
Like
That's
none.
true. None.
So like it does a great job of using just sound and tension. There's no soundtrack. There's no music. It is very bare bones, I would describe it as far as like a movie.
Yeah.
But it really works. It's that subtle sort of aspect that makes it feel real. It feels like someone took their camera, went into this house, and they're hearing things as they walk around the house that are creepy. And there are some really creepy stuff that happens in this movie.
And I don't know if it's because I just kind of got invested in him or what he was doing or whatever. But what I found interesting about my own reactions to it was that when these subtle things happen, these are things that we've seen like 100 times before. I mean, these are things that are in like the Conjuring franchise or that are in these like big budget movies. And for some reason, they were more effective in this. Like there was this one thing, and I'll probably say it once we get into spoilers, but like I literally was like, no, fuck that. Like when it happened, I was like,
it has some of those moments.
Yes. It does. So I think to your point, like I think because they seem, other than the plane, I think that because they seem pretty genuine, like it was a little bit easier to like get invested in, like I'm in the moment with them versus these like big budget things where all the people in it, it's this big franchise. Like those little moments aren't as effective. I don't know. I was just kind of surprised by that. I thought it was impressive that it could make me like kind of be like, ooh, that makes me uncomfortable,
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, it plays on the classic fear like so well of going into a basement too. Like if you're someone who's like a little bit, weirded out by going down into that creepy basement, and there's a really creepy basement in this movie, you would like this movie. I also really liked the actor who plays the guy who owns that house.
And I really liked him too.
Really seems like a guy that they just walked up to and started filming, who's sort of realistically awkward or authentically awkward on camera. Like he doesn't know where to look and who to talk to. It seems like if there was an older gentleman or just any person actually who believed their house to be haunted, it sort of felt like any person really sort of explaining that to a camera. That was very believable and one of the strengths of this movie as well.
I I think too, with him specifically with the owner, I think the
Yeah.
other thing that came across as really genuine is he really felt to me like someone who had been trying to justify this for a really long time and
Yep.
was genuinely frustrated that like no one believed him, and he's just kind of like, this is what I have to live with. Like I felt like we kind of went through this range of emotions with him where we could see that he genuinely was experiencing these things and like tired of people not believing him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think, he also had this sort of thing about him where he wasn't scared of the ghost,
Right.
which like it added a sort of different element to the movie because this dude had been living there. The ghosts weren't bothering him so much.
Right.
And so I don't know. I don't know what that I like that aspect of it. Although when things do start happening in this movie, they get pretty scared pretty quickly. And it's definitely one of those situations like, why are you, if you believe this is real, why are you staying? Why are
Yeah.
you leaving? Although they weren't like in any physical danger, it seems, except when the house like maybe was catching on fire or something like that.
Oh, right.
With smoke or I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of messed up.
Yeah.
There's also, and I would love to know if anyone has one of these in their basement at their home. The creepiest, and this is, here we go into a little bit of lore about this house, and there's this, dare I say, a black well in the basement of the Blackwell house, right? It is a little bit of a, I don't know, some kind of a hatch, and there's a story of murdered people being tossed down there by the old lady who
Which
previously,
is the lady on the front of the cover
yeah.
of the.
And so that was a whole bunch of creepy, that I liked that element of the movie. But it was just very authentic feeling. And I think another strength was that they didn't push it too far. Like they didn't try to make the
I
ghost.
agree with that.
They didn't try to throw in some CGI or, and so they always sort of kept it right here, and it made it more believable. Like if you watch sort of the paranormal investigator shows on TV, Ghost Hunter sort of thing, they never really see much of anything, right? It's all about maybe they heard something or
sometimes something moves, sort of.
And that allows your own imagination to do the work and create a lot of the scenery and the special effects in your mind. And that I really liked about this movie. They left space for your own brain to get scared on its own accord. Which
no, I agree with all of that. I think all of it was really well done. I was not that I thought you'd recommend a movie I hated. That's not what I meant. But I mean, like, I just was surprised at the way that it's presented and how effective it was, I think.
Yeah.
Overall.
And I'm intrigued. I'm interested to see what the next part. I know this is a series now. So they're probably not good, is my guess.
That would be my guess as well.
Probably something that, and I'll eat my words if I'm wrong, but it feels like the kind of thing that probably should just leave alone as it is. It looks like they made a whole bunch of movies, right?
I think that I saw, when I was looking for it, I saw a cover up to 6, but I think there's more than that.
I think there's like 6 at least. That was a number.
At least 6. Okay. I didn't know if the 6th one was the last one or not, but that's what I saw when I was searching for it, was the number. The highest number I think I saw was 6, I think.
Yeah, but there's like, I mean, there are articles written on this movie, people trying to debunk, like doing legitimate research about the house and about this guy who's, in the movie. So much so, if there's a clip at the very beginning of the film where he's talking about, there's something that happens in a hotel, right? It's in a previous documentary that he made. And someone did some research on that. And that is actually this guy in the movie.
Yes.
Itself. You knew that? Okay.
I did. Well, so that's what we'll go ahead and like lean into spoilers. So
sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah. No, you're fine. No, you're fine. I can put like a flash of something. It's fine. No, so that's what I was going to comment on. So I've seen that video, that hotel video, and it gives me the Wiggins like every time. Like, not because it couldn't be faked, but because of the possibility that it wasn't faked. Like, it's so intense, and it seems like when the guy comes out of the room, he seems like genuinely terrified. But that video went viral like a long time ago. And so when he showed that video, I was like, holy shit, like I've seen this before. And I was like blown away. And then he calls the guy and he talks to him on that part, that whole thing. I was like, what is happening right now? I was blown away by that.
Yeah, I think that is a video somewhere else that you can find and actually watch. Like it is a whole separate thing.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah,
It
right? That's what you're
up,
saying? Yeah.
It comes up in like what do you call them, compilation haunted things. Like I've seen it before. Like I've seen it come up so many times, and it always makes me go, ooh, God, like it makes me so uncomfortable because the sound that you hear and that stuff that comes out, and I don't know, like the whole thing, it makes me so uncomfortable. That
totally
was
him.
Oh,
totally him, and his face is blurred out, but it's him. Yeah, sorry about the spoilers, but yeah, that's
okay. I'll slap the word spoilers up there. Be fine.
So does it take away from a found foot? This is more of a larger question, but does it take away from a found footage movie if it actually is a hoax? Like the guy set out to make everyone believe it actually was real. Like it was not created, as a work of, fiction that was going to be on Shudder or something like that. This guy made something that he wanted everyone to believe was actually real. Does that take away from it? Is it a found footage movie or is it a hoax? Or it doesn't matter. Do you care?
I don't know. I feel like when I think about those things, I come from a very different side of it, because my thought process is like it more affects me if I go into it thinking one thing than another. But because that's kind of already been done, like I kind of just go into everything thinking it's all fake anyway. So I don't know. I mean, I guess but I think because you can consider like some of these found footage movies are considered mockumentaries, which is like in between the two. It's like hoax, mockumentary, and then like found footage movies. I don't know. I don't think it matters to me.
Yeah, I don't think it does. I was just more curious, like what people would say, like because there are a lot of people using that word. They're like, I wouldn't call Blair Witch a hoax. You know what I mean?
Me either.
I wouldn't call any of these movies a hoax.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. But people talk about this movie in that way.
I think to me, if it is intentional. Not that you don't do a hoax intentional, but I think you know what I mean. If you are intentionally setting it up like this, knowing that at some point people are going to know it's not real, then I don't think it's a genuine hoax. Hoax is one of those like, oh shit, we're busted. We didn't do this on purpose. Like we really didn't. We really wanted to get away with this. And I don't like, that's not really, I don't think that was the real case here. Like I think it's just presented that way because the thing that makes found footage scary is that it feels real. And what better way to make it feel real than to say that it is? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I guess if that was the case, you'd have to say like Ghost Watch, right? That was a hoax.
Is a hoax,
right? I mean, it was, right?
It was a little bit more, That would be a lot closer, I would think, to hoax than this.
But there, I just a little bit of research. I saw that there's still, like you go on comments pages, like people talking about this movie. There's a lot of, is this real? Question mark. No, it's a hoax. It's fake. Like just a lot of debate around it.
That's so crazy considering I had not heard of it until you had said it.
But now, and I think, as you said, it was hard to find even like the IMDb page at first. But now you go on there, and after a few minutes, you figure out his wife is an actress. The old man, sorry to tell you, is an actor. But this is a real documentary or a real filmmaker. This guy, he's done a lot of stuff as a director, and so it's sort of that gives it an air of authenticity, a mirage of authenticity, I guess.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think so the oh no moment, the moment that got me, that I could not believe got me and made me uncomfortable. Huh?
Which one?
Oh, it was, I'm going to tell you. It's the, It's the it's the one where the door opens when he keeps going and he closes the basement door.
Oh yes. Yeah.
I was like, I don't know why. I think I was just like in the moment with him, right? And I was like, if a door, I know, like it's so stupid and it's so small, but that got me so bad. And the ball on top of the well.
Yep. The
Nope.
ball. Well, everything about the basement. Like
The basement was so uncomfortable.
you take the basement out of this movie, and you're like, all right, but that he had to keep going down into the basement.
And the door I'm talking about leads to the basement.
Yes. So like that's like every kid growing up is, even they're adults now who are afraid to go down into the basement, and he goes down there with the lights off, like, or the lights go out. I forget exactly what happens, but like really scary scenario and really creepy thing to find in your basement. Honestly, does anyone else have a well in their basement? Is that like...
Yeah, because he said it was like a super normal thing for houses built within like a certain date range. And I'm like, where?
Not around here. I've never been in a basement that has a well.
I would not buy a house that had that. And I'm being honest. Like I have a hard time with attics. Like when I lived in I have an attic here, but there was one at my other house that I actually used, and I didn't go in there. I didn't go up there. I didn't get on the ladder. Like that's not a thing. I'm not going to no attic. Like...
Would you be like that guy who owned that place, like who's totally cool with having a ghost living with him? Like he lived alone.
I thought this, no.
And also, doesn't he say in the movie that his like one of his parents dies like tragically, like fell down the stairs or something? Am I making that up? I
don't remember that part. I know he said something.
Yeah, I just imagine that.
Didn't actually. I don't know. Well, I know that he talked about telling somebody about the noises. Or he had somebody stay or something, and he was talking about the noise. I don't remember.
Like his parents like died in the house, you know.
Yeah, I do remember that. Because I don't remember the stairs. Maybe that's your writer brain.
There you go. Yeah, I've created this into something else. Like... That's what I would have happened in this movie.
Yeah, I don't remember. But,
yeah, the bones down in the basement well weren't enough, right?
That's right. He needs more. Yeah, I think that yeah, I think that the basement was terrifying. I would not know. To answer your question, no. Like I've only had a few what I would consider like weird experiences, and they've never thankfully been, well, one was somewhere I lived. But like I couldn't, like I tell people all the time, I'm like, if that happened, I'd burn my house down. I'm like only half joking.
I mean, like like especially if I lived alone in a house, if every night I was hearing footsteps on the stairs, which is sort of a lot of what happens in this movie, it's that kind of thing. Like, and the guy's just sort of like cool with it. Oh, it's a friendly ghost. The whole thing with the ghost just stopping and standing
outside the door
every night, like that. This is the kind of stuff that like anybody could put themselves in that position and be like, hell no. If I lived in that house, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do that. I wouldn't be living there still. And never mind living there. Even the people who are filming, I know they're filming a ghost show, but like the first time they hear footsteps in the night, like, and I guess he does call the police or something, doesn't he?
When that smoke.
Yeah, so he does eventually call 911, but he still stays. Was there like a storm or something keeping them there?
Yeah, they also extended it too, right? Because I think they were only going to stay for like a day or something, and then it ended up being like a couple of days or something like that. That whole smoke thing had me like a little, like that was really well done too.
Yes.
Like he goes downstairs and there's like that cloud of smoke, but there's no source of it. Like there's like, where the hell did that come from? Like
that was,
and
like there's simple stuff like the water turning on and all the different.
Oh no, why was that so uncomfortable? But it
was really unsettling, and he always is going down and investigating. His wife just staying up in the bedroom.
That's me in the situation. Good luck.
I have to say, like, she didn't really seem all that scared.
That's
like,
true.
He didn't experience a lot of it. He was the one.
Yeah, he was the one experiencing most of it.
Yeah.
He's like, just call it. No, I do feel like this was also realistic because she's upstairs like clueless, and he's like, call the police, and she's like, why? And he's like, just call the police. Yeah. I feel like I've had conversations like that.
Not realistic. Now, I haven't done a lot of like research on historical buildings, but you seem to have like too much ease, just like calling up the random historical society, like, please send me 5,000, reels of microfilm, whatever it was. And they're just like, okay, we'll do that. I can't imagine it would be that easy. Right.
And he didn't even really use it that much.
No.
I thought that was actually going to be like a much bigger like part, but it kind of wasn't. It was only for like once,
And
maybe twice.
Okay, the whole image of this movie, the whole like whatever you call it, cover art, or like the image on is an old woman's face. You would think at some point there might be an old woman standing in the mirror, or I mean, there's only mention that an old woman lived in the house and that she
that
probably
one time
was the murderer.
And they slap her picture up for like a second.
But I feel like, but again, not doing much was a positive in this movie, I thought.
I think so too, because I think it was probably not in a budget to make a woman look good from a ghost perspective.
Probably.
But also just a small professional opinion here. What they could have done is he could have seen her, but we not see her. You know how they do that sometimes, yes. Where he'll be like, "Oh, you didn't see that woman," like, or there's something, right?
Was there something at the end of the movie? Like, was there like some final shot? Like, even like after the credits, I think they go back and like they're showing you something that maybe he saw. Do you know?
I looked at that, but I didn't notice anything.
I couldn't find anything, but I feel like
I did look.
You're supposed to see something.
I thought so too.
But I didn't quite get that.
It's like those obligatory, like, this is a picture of the house after we left it, and there's like something in the window. Like, I thought it was going to be like one of those kind of. Yeah, I didn't see anything. I did look because I had the same thought though, and I couldn't see anything. But
like a classic setup for a found footage film. If you want just like you're just really feeling found footage, this is that. It's perfect for like a easy night at home. It's not so scary that you need to. You can watch this with the lights off. You can watch this by yourself. You'll be okay. But it's just good. It's just solid.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't have any gripes about it. I don't like other. I mean, I know the plane thing was a valid point.
I think if I had any gripe, it's sort of similar to my gripe for Ghostwatch, was that I thought it could have gone a little bit, not as much as I had this as a gripe with Ghostwatch, but I felt like it could have gone a little bit further.
Yeah.
At the end. And it just sort of was suddenly done, which is maybe why this is being turned into a series. And maybe a lot of people felt the same way, or he felt the same way. But I thought they could have extended it just a little bit and shown us maybe a little bit more. But like I said, the subtle aspect of this was really a plus. So maybe messing with it wouldn't have been a good idea. Yeah,
because then it would have made it like disappointing.
Yeah.
Is that a map of Middle Earth behind you?
It is. You're okay. Wait a minute. I've sat in front of this every episode so far, and this is the first time you are noticing.
I have paid attention to it. Oh my god! Oh, cool. It's massive.
Now you know.
That is so funny. I've just never. I don't know. I'm just into whatever we're talking about, but I just was like, what is that a map of? And I'm like looking at it, and I'm like trying not to make it obvious that I'm like staring past your head to try to figure it out. And I was like, wait a second.
It is a map of Middle Earth. It's actually my wife's. It's not mine,
that's awesome.
But yeah, this is our nerd basement. So
that's a good place.
Which is where I watch all of these found footage horror movies, by the way, in an actual basement with all the lights off. And so when I was watching Blackwell Ghost, but there is not a well down here, and there's not a well that has any body parts in it, as far as I'm aware. But I would really like to hear, if you are watching this and you are one of those believers out there who thinks this is real, or what would like to think it was real, please tell us in the comments. I'd love to hear from those people. Or if you're one of those cult followers of this film, because I'm understanding there are some out there.
And if you've seen the others, I'd love to know the opinions on those. Like, does it do the original justice? Is it something to avoid? Like, you know. And of course, if you have a found footage movie recommendation, you should leave that too.
Yeah. What are we missing? What should we be talking about? Because clearly the last few we've been talking about, or last couple, we're talking about found footage that not a lot of people are talking about. Or they're not on a lot of lists. Let's put it that way. Blackwell's on a couple I've seen, but Ghostwatcher's on none that I've ever seen, any list.
Yeah.
So,
and then the two before that were newer ones.
Yeah.
So not really.
So if you have seen this, tell us what you think, real or not.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, you really should. This should be on your list. Don't let the image, the cover image on
deter you. Yeah.
Deter you, because it's worth it. It's worth your time.
What did I watch it on? Tubi?
I believe it's on Tubi. I think some of them, part of the series, are on Prime. So
okay, I couldn't remember if it was Tubi or Prime, but I think you're right. I think it was Tubi.
Yeah,
for the first one. Yeah,
every found footage is movies on Tubi, right? Pretty much.
But yeah, most of them. I feel like I say that everyone's like, "Oh, where do you watch this?" And I'm like, "Oh, Tubi." It's like, "Oh, what about this one?" Tubi. Like,
which I wouldn't have known even existed if you hadn't told me when we did Found Footage Month. So.
Serious? Oh, you're welcome.
I've never heard of Tubi before then.
Tubi is a horror gold mine.
It is. It is.
Not just for found footage, but it does have a ton of found footage movies. And once you watch like 2 or 3, that's like all it will show you is found footage.
Oh, that's what's happened to me now.
Yeah.
And it's free. You don't pay anything for it. So.
Yep. It has ads. They usually show up at the most intense moments, but that's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You group with ads.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the Blackwell Ghost.
Yeah.
Real or not? Fact or fiction? Hoax or not?
I would love to know people's opinions on the hoax conversation too.
Yeah, like I think I actually.
That's a good question. I think
I ask it because I think maybe it does somewhere deep down affect my opinion on the movie. Like, if he actually went out there and was trying to trick everybody, I mean, I'd be like, okay, dude, like, I don't know. I think I wouldn't look at it as like a found footage film. I would look at it as someone was trying to sell us or something that wasn't real.
I think when you put it like that, it probably might change my thoughts too.
Right? I don't know.
I might find myself like frustrated that I had invested time in something that was meant to mislead me intentionally.
Yeah.
I think I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But I can't change my rating until I actually hear from the director. So if you are Turner Clay, what was your intention with this movie?
We'll tag him when we post this on Twitter.
I mean, maybe he's on Twitter. Yeah,
he might be.
I'd love to have him on. Let's talk to him and see what he has to say about the Blackwell Ghost.
Yeah, maybe by then we'll have seen the other ones.
Mm-hmm. If people tell us we should.
Yes. If everyone's like, please don't ever, then maybe not.
And well, there are some series that it's really worth it to keep going. But there's definitely are some out there where like just watch the first one and then move on.
That's true. Yeah, I mean and then there are some that like skip like there'll be like 5 and like 1, 3, and 4 are really good, but like 2 and 5 are not good.
Yep.
That's kind of how I feel about the Paranormal Activity franchise. There's some good ones and then there's some duds.
Well, they used to say that about, not anymore, but they used to say that about the Halloween series, where everyone would be like, "Oh, skip Halloween 3. It's not connected to Michael Myers' story." And now it's like, "Oh, that's the best." A lot of people would tell you.
I love Season of the Witch.
Yeah, I mean,
well, because that's because Halloween was meant to be an anthology series, and then Michael Myers was so well liked, they were like, let's make more of them.
But like, I remember when I was younger, people were like, "Oh, just skip that one." And now
I remember that being a thing too.
Yeah. Don't skip Season of the Witch. I know we're not.
No, Season of the Witch is one of my favorites of the franchise. Yeah. I love that one. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's the Blackwell Ghost.
Blackwell Ghost. And so next week we don't know what we're watching.
I was gonna say I don't think we know. We talked about it.
So if you want to tell us what we should be watching.
Yeah, definitely, because this is an ongoing series. We'll be doing this every Friday, so there's plenty of time to get all of it in, hopefully.
And I was going to say until we run out of found footage, but I literally, I was on this found footage Facebook group that I found, and someone was posting post after post of all these 2000 or 2022 movies that are coming out in the found footage subgenre. It's like a ton.
Yeah.
I only shared one with you the other day, but
there's a bunch.
And you're really excited about that Wendigo.
I'm really excited about the Wendigo. Please don't mess this up for me. I love Wendigos and I hated antlers. I'm like, please, like I need a good Wendigo movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love Wendigos. Like, and honestly, I think I may have mentioned this before. Anything that is creature found footage, I'm like here for. Like, yeah. I love monster movies. So like anything that combines that with found footage, and I'm just like, I'm in heaven anyway, which is why I like Monster Project so much. But it's like, yeah. So, and I think our plan is to probably try to do the newer ones right after they come out, so long as we both are able to like get to them. Like, you know,
I wish I knew what's next. What's the next big one to drop?
I can't remember.
I don't know.
There are a few, and then of course, the closer we get to October, the more stuff like that's going to come out. So, yeah, we might have our work cut out for us for the next couple.
Totally fine.
It's going to be fun. So,
all right, let's do it.
Cool. All right, yeah. Let us know what you think of Blackwell Ghost and if we should watch the rest of them. Lots of opinions needed in this episode, so keep it rolling.
Absolutely. We welcome your thoughts.
That's right. Yes, so Tom and I don't know what we're doing next week. We'll probably figure it out in the next couple of days. But thanks for hanging out with us for Found Footage Fridays. Hopefully you guys are eating the series up as much as we are. We're having a great time.
This is so much fun.
I love it. So, so we'll be back next Friday with another movie. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.